back to an all-new episode of the Facerocker Podcast, the official RocketJump podcast. And today's episode, number 99, is the penultimate episode. This is the second to last time we are going to do this, so we hope you stick around. Next week, we've got something fun planned for you. We're going to bring the old gang back together, have some pizzas, have a chat. It's going to be awesome. But until then, today we're going to do a Flashback Friday episode. We've got the host of Right This Minute, Nick Calderone, at the Firetalk stage at this year's VidCon, sitting down with Freddie and the Rocketjump Film School, which is Lauren, Cherish, and Joey, and they're talking about their history in filmmaking, what got them excited about filmmaking, what they're trying to do exactly with the film school, what they've been able to do so far, and where they can take it straight to the moon. Other than that, I've got to remind you guys, we've got a brand new show out. It's on Hulu right now, RocketJump.com/Hulu. Head there and you can get yourself a free Hulu Plus subscription for 1 week. That way you can check out our show. We've got 3 episodes up there right now, and you can see all 3 of them right now. And if you like it enough, keep a subscription. Stay until the end of the show. There's 5 more episodes going to come out after that. And even if you don't like it, maybe you just watch some sweet Seinfeld. That's what I do. It's a blast. Anyways, we also want to thank this week's podcast sponsor, Loot Crate. Now, if you don't know what Loot Crate is pretty much like a stocking coming to your house once a month. You pay less than $20, you get over $40 worth of goods, 6 to 8 items of pop culture, like just fun, cheap, comic book, collectible, anything and everything a geek, gamer, nerd would enjoy or love to come in a stocking or a present once a month. You gotta sign up by the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time each month, or that month's themed Loot Crate disappears. Each month they do one themed box that has themed items in it. If you don't sign up by the 19th at 9, that box you can't get anymore. It's no longer in service. This month, the theme is Galaxy. That means you're going to have stuff from Star Wars. That's right, not the old Star Wars, the new one. The awesome one, which, I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but who we kidding, we know it's going to be awesome. There's going to be Force Awakens gear in there, there's going to be Halo 5 stuff, there's an exclusive Funko Pop character in there, a whole bunch of other stuff. But you get over $40 worth of stuff for less than $20 a month, and Loot Crate's hooking you up right now. If you go to lootcrate.com/Facerocker and use the promo code Facerocker, you'll get $3 off your subscription. So head to lootcrate.com/Facerocker, use the promo code Facerocker, and they'll get $3 off your subscription. We really appreciate them supporting the podcast. We hope you'll give them a look, and we hope you enjoy the rest of today's episode.
Welcome back to the Firetalk stage, live from VidCon 2015. Guys, you could do what I did and drop like $100,000 on film school, but the good people at RocketJump are kind enough to bring film school to you with their RocketJump podcast. So we're gonna do the RocketJump Film School right now with our buddy Nick Calderone from Right This Minute, and they're gonna take it away and do that on stage. Welcome RocketJump and Nick Calderone.
Yeah. Come on in, everybody. Fill in, sit down. You guys are definitely going to learn a lot in this next moderated discussion. My name is Nick Calderone. I'm one of the hosts of Right This Minute. It's a daily syndicated viral video show. We reach about 1.7 million viewers a day, coast to coast, and we even broadcast in 12 different Asian countries, which is pretty awesome as well. So I love getting content on our show from creators like you guys, from the RocketJump Film School folks, and that's what we're here to talk about today. I love the idea of what you guys are creating, this idea that nothing should really hold you back if you have these creative ideas. If you want to get into this business, you don't need to look at a school and say, gosh, I can't afford that. You guys are providing the information from mistakes that you've learned. So we are joined by Cherish, Joey, Lauren, and Freddie Wong to tell us, don't let anything stop you. So where'd that idea come from?
I think it came from, each one of us grew up with a situation where we had some very, I think compared to now, we had a lot more obstacles in our way, comparatively. So when we look at the situation, the landscape now, we can't help but to think like, man, I wish this was what we had when we were growing up, in terms of access to cameras, in terms of editing speed of computers, cheapness of computers, all this stuff, and availability of software. A lot of the stuff that is out here now is stuff that not necessarily taken for granted, but definitely stuff that is the status quo. That is the status quo that we wish we had access to.
Yeah, the funny thing is right now is that a lot of people are assuming since technology is getting better and better and better, like I can only be taken seriously if I have like professional cameras and et cetera, but I would have killed to have an HD camera as my phone when I was little and like 15 years old making, crappy movies in my backyard. But like it was such a slog to try and get all of that equipment and everything like that, and it made us very much more creative, but it's what we had to work with, and a lot of people are too afraid to like, I just don't want to shoot this on my phone, I don't want to shoot this on my 7D, I want it to be legit. But it's like that stops you from filming. Like you need
ideas, and you need to be creative and passionate. And some of the stuff that you guys are putting on the RocketJump Film School, basically, if you don't know how to wire a mic, or you don't know how to set up some lights, some quick tutorials that you guys are providing, I think is a great idea to help the young minds just get started and overcome a few of those fears of, I don't even know where to start.
A lot of it's about taking a first step, and I think a lot of it also is, we're in a situation where, I like this, filmmaking it's weird because a lot of people think of it in a different way than they think of other art forms. So I like to use the guitar analogy, which is like filmmaking is a lot like learning how, it'd be like any sort of artistic pursuits, painting, it's photography, it's learning how to play guitar. And the point is you need to practice before you get good at it. And filmmaking has this whole mythology around it with the idea of, well, I'm going to be a director and I have a vision and I have an idea, and once I'm going to put this idea and this vision on camera and put it on the screen, and it's going to be perfect the first time out, which is ludicrous, which is the same as saying, I can't make a movie until I can't play guitar until I have the same guitar that Jimmy Page uses. I'm not touching a guitar until I get to that point. And I'm expect to be able to walk out onto a stage and solo perfectly. I'm never going to practice. And it's like, well, you need to practice. And you need to have that, and you need to practice with whatever you have. And you look at, and nobody thinks this about guitar playing. Nobody's like, it's weird that, hey, you're going to get a cheap guitar and do your best and start on that, and then you're going to gradually get better. Nobody thinks that's strange. But there's a block in people's minds when it comes to filmmaking where there's a lot of excuses for filmmaking. It's very easy to fall down the rabbit hole of just allowing those excuses to dominate and define your behavior.
Yeah, if you want to make a film, you need to go out and make that film with what you have.
And I think there's also a huge thing, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, and I'm sure every one of us here has felt this, but the idea of like your ideas are precious. Like I'm sure everyone out here has thought this. They're like, I have this really, really good idea, and I don't want to do it because I don't think I'm good enough to do it yet, and I just don't want to ruin the idea, which is a very dangerous mindset to get into, because what it says is that mindset tells you that the idea, the way you're approaching it is that your idea is more important than how you execute it. And almost without fail, I've never been impressed by a movie with a cool idea that was executed okay. I've only been impressed by good execution, and the idea was secondary to how it was done. And if you're letting the idea define how you do something and how you work on it, you're screwed. It's over, because you're never going to get good enough for that idea, and you're never going to try it. And the moment that you can let go of this idea is a great idea, and to think, well, maybe it's not such a great idea. Maybe it's an okay idea. Maybe it's an idea that is derivative of other things. The moment you let that go is the moment you open your mind up to be able to be receptive to other ideas and better ideas.
Cherish, what am I going to learn at Firetalk? Yeah, what am I going to learn at Firetalk? What am I going to learn at Rocketjump Film School?
I think a big part of what how we're organized is basically we're covering all elements of filmmaking that we can. So there's 8 tracks. There's writing, directing, via visual effects, editing. Am I forgetting
sound,
arts and vanities?
Producing.
Yeah.
You guys have divided it up into tracks, right?
Yeah. There's 8 tracks. They're divided into also kind of beginner, intermediate, advanced. So there's something for every level, and we want to kind of give as much a comprehensive, I think, look at filmmaking as possible, because as much understanding you have of every element, like an editor should know how sound works, and a cinematographer should know how it's going to work in the edit, and that makes you a better cinematographer. So
now, there's a lot of tutorials online that anybody could go to on YouTube and find a tutorial on this or that. What makes you guys special? What makes you guys, why should I come to RocketJump? Is it because of the reputations that you guys have built?
I think a lot of it is that because we have a recognition with people through like a lot of our behind the scenes and stuff like that. But kind of the big angle we want to take was not to teach you how to do something, but why you should do something. You know, how to come at it from a story perspective, the narrative elements of it, and how that makes you a better filmmaker. You know, how it all ties in.
If you know how to replicate something or do something, it's not going to help you make creative decisions on how to make your film better. If you get stuck, you're like, why isn't this working? If you know how to make a really good effect shot, but your story's not working, like, how do you learn those creative choices? And that's a big thing that film school and trial and error lets you do, is figure out what works, what doesn't, and why.
Right.
And that's, we're trying, instead of like teaching you like, oh yeah, this very specific way to shoot something, it's like, why would you use that way? And when would you not use that way? So it's helping you guys think differently as well.
Yeah, to use a guitar analogy again, I'm going to go back to this until it doesn't
It's
work.
a really good analogy.
Yeah.
But it's the perfect analogy. No, it would be the equivalent of, like, a lot of times people learn how to solo. They'll take a solo from, like, Stairway to Heaven. They learn exactly how to do that solo, and then the end, they can play that solo over and over and over again. But the moment it's like, all right, here's another song, just make up a solo over this, you have nothing that you can base that off of. And you have no idea where to even begin, because the only thing you've learned was exactly how to play one solo. And that's what a lot of tutorials right now online are like, which is, here's exactly how to do this effect or how to get this look. And once you get that look, that's great, you can use that look. But it's not versatile in terms of your education, and you're not gonna be able to apply that, and you'll not be able to come up with something using those skills in the same way than if you had approached it from a more fundamental mindset. If it was talking about guitars, they were approaching it from a scales and a musical, like, theory mindset, as opposed to one of, here's exactly how you do something.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back, and guess what? Yeah, you guessed it. I'm about to talk about Loot Crate. They're this week's sponsor. And what Loot Crate is their subscription box service that once a month will send you 6 to 8 different pop culture, comic book, geek, gamer, nerd, chic, sweet rat stuff. Pretty much like a stocking once a month that comes straight to your door. Each month they theme their Loot Crate box. They even did one for VGHS back in the day. It was fantastic. Some of you may even have it. But this month's theme is Galaxy. What does that mean? It means you get Star Wars gear, you get an exclusive Funko Pop character, there's Halo 5 stuff in there, there's a whole bunch of stuff. You get over $40 worth of items for less than $20 a month, and they're gonna hook you up. If you go to lootcrate.com/Facerocker, use the promo code Facerocker, you'll get $3 off your subscription. So make sure you sign up by the 19th at 9 p.m. to get this month's theme box. Other than that, it's gone. They don't make that one anymore. You can't get those items again. So go check them out. We appreciate them supporting the podcast. We hope you support them. And back to the show.
Now, you guys were all inspired by something and learned what you learned to get here somewhere. You started somewhere. You guys are offering these people what you know now. How does that feel to be an inspiration now, to be the place where people are starting?
Well, I got inspired by, it's really weird to think about, but sort of behind the scenes of film, like films that you love, behind the scenes weren't readily accessible like they were until like DVDs came out. And when DVDs came out, you could really, like, until then, I just saw the actors on stage, like, oh, I want to be an actor, like, that's great. And then when I saw, like, how they made The Matrix, I was like, oh, that was incredible, and I want to learn about everything else. And that has always just been, like, this weird inspiration light switch that's got me so curious about everything in film and all the departments, and I mean, that's what we're doing too. We hope to inspire you guys with whatever we do, and then share that knowledge, like, as openly as we can. And yeah, it just keeps recycling. Like, if I could learn from Sam Raimi how he did The Evil Dead as he was doing The Evil Dead, that would be like the coolest thing ever. So, I don't know. I feel like that's it's just always, you are learning from people that you look up to always.
Have you guys seen video projects from some of your students? Have you seen things come back that are a direct result of the Rocketjump Film School?
Yeah, we did a panel series with the LA Public Library, and then we had a film contest afterwards where they could enter in their short films, and we watched over 50 or 60 of them and screened 20 of them And that was just so cool to see like where they came from, and it was kind of all over the world. People submitted stuff, and we got some local filmmakers that submitted their stuff to come in and see the actual screening. And then we had three of the filmmakers there met at that screening and started shooting stuff together. And that was like one of the biggest rewarding things is like we connected other young filmmakers, and they got inspired and started making their own stuff. And that's like one of our big goals is community.
Absolutely.
And filmmaking community.
Yeah, it was really cool. Like you could see the credit. They sent us the film they made together, and it was like one of the winner of the Freddie and Matt Award at the
RocketJump
at the screening.
Grand Jury choice or something.
Yeah, he was like the sound person on the film, and there's writers and directors. It was really cool. That is really what we're trying to do is instill like collaboration with each other and connect people who are like-minded.
Make it less intimidating and make it more fun and accessible, so you guys aren't afraid to go out and try something.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how good the resource of our forum is. Like, people are giving each other feedback and posting their work, and we just encourage all of you to jump on there and to share what you've done and just start talking to people about film, as opposed to like what you may or may not get in a YouTube comment section, as we mentioned before. Like, look for feedback, ask or what's the better word for networking?
I don't know. Making friends.
Making friends with like-minded people out in the world, because the internet could seem like this very abstract place until there's someone on the other end of that computer, and then you meet them and they have the same passion, and then you start building relationships out of that.
I love the question that came up at the end of the last at the podcast about internships and am I being taken advantage of. I'm really grateful for the internship I had, because I wouldn't be here without it. How do you guys, to get back to that internship a little bit, would RocketJump ever think about offering an internship? And what's your advice for these guys out there if you have an internship opportunity? Should you take it?
Freddie
Yeah,
should answer.
so we do offer internships, and they pay according to California state law, because everybody who doesn't do that's really annoying. Anyway, so we do, and I think that as you go through school, you're gonna have the opportunity to take on internships, be they at the high school level, I don't know if you're at the high school level, you're gonna get paid, or at the college level. It's a little more paperwork on the other end. But the point being is, what you need to look for is you need to have an understanding of what you're trying to get out of the internship. Like, don't go into it expecting, well, this is my foot in the door, and once I get this foot in the door, I'm set, I'm all good, and that's it. You really have a sense of like, okay, when you're going here, this is what I want to learn, this is what I want to understand, this is what I come out of this with, and make sure that from the employers, exactly, let them know. From the employer standpoint, they need to know this is what I care about. So if you come in, like a lot of times, for us, it's like, and also having been in that perspective of like having interns, we're in a place where I can't read your mind, unfortunately. So when people come in, it's like, okay, I guess this might be interesting, this might be interesting. But then we talking to some of our interns, they'll turn around and say, oh, hey, this is what I'm interested in. It's like, okay, all right, then this is what we'll do, and we'll do this, and we can target it that way. So make sure that they know what you're there for. Make sure you understand what you're trying to get out of it. And if you're in a situation where you're not getting that, or if it's no clear path to it, then you're definitely being taken advantage of, and you should try and find another internship.
Yeah, it's absolutely an element of self-awareness, I think. It's like constantly checking in with yourself and looking at the big picture about, is this work worth my career, or am I happy doing it? Even if it's not as much pay or anything like that, it's good to check in with yourself and look at it.
I'm sorry, I love the topic of internships because it was so important to me, and
Sure.
I think when you guys get to that point of internships, it's probably going to be the first time that people aren't spoon feeding you information anymore. It's high school and college is over. So when you get that opportunity and your foot is in the door, it's kind of up to you to seize that opportunity and make sure that you tell people why you're there, just like Freddie said, and show them that you want to learn. You can't sit back and expect them to come up and give you the next lesson book, because that's not how it's going to work. You have to really want to be there and take advantage of the opportunity you've got.
Yeah.
Really quick, I was just going to say, and also having a really positive attitude goes a long way. Like, no one likes to work with a jerk, and that just is a good rule of thumb just in life, is to, whatever you decide to do, just have a good attitude about it, and then only good will come from that, because it's positive, and no one likes someone who's going to bring anyone down.
Don't act like you're above the work.
Yes.
Yeah, like I had to PA for a long time. I interned for a long time, and if I act like I'm too good to restock the sodas in the fridge, people aren't going to want to hire me for better projects because they're like, oh, she kind of had a bad attitude. I don't think she wants to be here. It's like, no, you do have to do some like grind work. You know, internships aren't all just fun and rainbows. You do have to contribute, but if you have a good attitude about it and show like, hey, I'm here, I'm a team player, I want to do well, I want to get something out of this, what can I do? You're constantly asking questions. How does this work? How do I help on this? Then people are going to be like, oh, she wants to be here. Yeah. Let's try and get her on the next project.
Absolutely, proactivity.
Yeah, and I think if there's one thing I wish high schools and colleges did a little more of, it would be to prepare you for the fact that everything that you want to do and everything you want to learn is something you have to reach out and grab for yourself. And it's and by the way, I know that this is the case that high schools and aren't really doing that because Yahoo Answers exists. And the fact that Yahoo Answers exists says like that's the microcosm. That's the tiny symptom. Because if someone's like, well, what's the answer to this? I'll ask this question, someone will answer it for me. If that's your mindset for how to get information, that's not a good mindset. Because it's like, half the times, right, you see the Yahoo Answers, you're just like, why didn't this person just Google it? Why, indeed? And if you ask that question in terms of like every part of your life, it's like, why didn't this person just ask to do this? Or try and learn this on their own, or look it up themselves? It starts with, from a fundamental level, understanding that stuff isn't going to be, as you said, spoon-fed to you, and you're going to be in a situation where if you do want something, the way you get it is by going out for it for yourself.
Let's do a little lightning round here. You guys are creators, but what do you consume? What do you when you're sitting around looking for something to watch, what are you clicking on?
Oh God, I actually watch a lot of video game live streams and stuff like that.
Wait, really?
Maybe.
Wait, can you help us with our video game live stream then?
I could. And I was actually really into Bloodborne mythology videos.
No way.
Yeah,
those are so cool, though.
Yeah, that's how I de-stress, is learning about how weird Bloodborne is.
Wait, no, you are helping us with our streams now. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's
okay,
fine.
Good.
I can do that.
Joey, what about you?
Oh boy, it's all over the place. Now we're talking about video games. I don't as much anymore, but I went through a huge phase where I would watch people speed run video games. I go on the archive.com and I watch people beat Mario in like 2 minutes, and it was amazing. So other than that, I watch Treehouse Masters. I think treehouses are great. I think that dude's awesome. I would go stay at his place. Here's a plug for Treehouse Masters. Wicked Tuna is like a ridiculous fish tuna catching show that I just find fascinating.
What?
Learning a lot about Joey right now.
I call people tuna a lot, so that makes sense.
Is that where that came from?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Lauren, what's your guilty pleasure?
Well, most of the time on the internet I'm reading comics, which is ironically kind of how I got into visual stuff anyway, and how I started like getting into framing up stuff and movement.
Like webcomics?
Like webcomics.
Like name your 3 favorite ones.
Oh crap.
Come on.
Okay. Bear Tato is amazing.
Oh, I love
I'm sorry.
Needroid.com.
Nedroid.
Gun show. Gun show.
Oh no, now I'm totally blanking. Crap.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm always looking for good webcomics, you know?
There's, Gemma Carell does some amazing stuff. Harka Vagrant is really good with Kate Beaton.
Yes.
They just comedy and timing, and like some of them are like 4-panel strips, and some of them are very beautifully done. And like the movement and motion and stuff is something that I like studying as a cinematographer, and also just timing and that kind of stuff. So I'm usually like reading comic books.
Nice.
Your turn, hot seat.
Oh man, I've been getting into multi-copters a lot. I'm trying to build my own 250 class. I'm trying to figure out in terms of motors if I need to go with a 12 amp or 20 amp ESC, and whether or not in terms of controller wise if you go with the KK Lite or just go the full size because the firmware upgrade is a little bit easier. Anyway, I'm getting into the multi-rotors, which is why I pointed out the multi-rotor over there. That one was sorry.
He is still talking English, right? Right? Was that all make sense? Yeah, it made some sense.
A little bit. It's like learning another language. It's incredible how much jargon there is. Like, it's ridiculous.
What about this format, this idea of live streaming stuff? Instead of, shoot, write, edit, make it perfect, and then release it, this idea of just saying, here I am, take it or leave it, it's raw.
Well, I'll tell you where one place we started to use it is we started to stream on set, live on set, because when you see behind the scenes, we still cut that down, and we're there for 12 hours, and you get 2 minutes behind the scenes. So what we started to do, and if you follow RocketJump Film School, RJ Film School on Twitter, and we'll go on live on Periscope. We'll put it.
You mean
live
Firetalk?
Well, anything.
Live on Firetalk?
We're up on a number of platforms. So the point is, you can go from set and see what it's like to be on set. And what you'll realize is the timing of things and how much time things take is probably way different than what you'd expect. You know?
We live streamed part of our Hulu show where we flipped a truck. And it took a good hour of setup and waiting and making sure everything was safe. And the whole stream was like, why isn't anything happening? Like I thought you guys did cool explosions and stuff. It's like, no, actually to flip a truck, you need several hours of being safe and waiting around and making sure everything's good. And then
believe me, I was just as mad as all those viewers. I was like, come on, let's flip this.
Yeah, well, you were pull the trigger. On the trailer, like with the camera, like ready to go for a good 15 minutes.
I was
just like riffing.
There is a nice magic that just comes with anything live, like anything. It's great. Anything can happen. We did a live streamathon for 5SF. That was insane. And we get people to tune in and comment, and then it's interactive too because we're in this world, and you can really see live tweets whenever we do anything streaming also, and that's something really special. It's something new that I feel like will only get better.
Yeah, our audience is so important to us. So I think any time a platform can give us a chance to really talk to them directly and in the moment, it's huge.
Yeah.
Sweet. The Hulu channel, the Hulu Show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. We haven't gotten into the Hulu show yet.
Yeah, so we get the next thing that's coming out from us. That's a long form thing. It's going to be a show that's going to be debuting and premiering and living on Hulu, and that's going to happen later this year. It's going to be an 8-episode show. We're kind of getting back to our roots a little bit for those of you who have missed some of our shorts. And we actually just put up a short yesterday, but we definitely haven't been putting up as many as we used to. We're changing that. The Hulu show is going to feature 8 of probably the highest, most ridiculous, most high production value, ridiculous shorts we've ever done. The truck flip that Joey mentioned is part of one of those shorts. We destroy a school bus with reckless abandon, and to a point now where when I drive down the street and I see a school bus, I'm like, school bus, you ain't that big. You ain't that big of a deal. I could flipped one of you. So that show's coming out later on
and it has a behind the scenes
and there's
element.
A huge behind the scenes element and also a film school element as well.
Yeah, we're doing companion pieces with the Film School channel with the Hulu show. It's like how we did certain things and tutorials based on that show. So that will be released simultaneously, and it'll be things like specific things like what you call out before action. Like there's a whole thing to very specific things like safety on set when you're flipping buses or color correction and that kind of stuff. So it's awesome shorts. And then behind the scenes for the shorts, and then tutorials on how we actually did the stuff in the shorts. So there's like tons of content coming
So if you
out.
watch everything, hopefully you'll be entertained, but you'll come out of it a little better educated as well.
Now you guys have you have the experience of millions of views. People love your content. How do you get over that slightly discouraged feeling of spending hours on creating a video and watching your videos on how to do it and being really proud and getting 12 views? What's your recommendation to keep going and it's not about the views? I don't know.
Well, that's kind of hard, right? We're in a world where when we
discouraging.
Well, here's the thing. We grew up in a world where 12 views, that's double-digit views.
Yeah.
That's all my friends saw this. This was sick. This was a total success.
Yeah.
Well, I would say most recently, I was really, really excited about the makeup effects field trip that we just did at Vincent Guastini's, who creates monsters and molds and I nerd out so hard on it. I think it's so fascinating. I was like, everyone's gonna love this.
He was
and then
super cool guy.
And then it did meh.
Okay.
There's less interest in it than I have for it. And I was like, oh well, I think this stuff is fascinating. It's just really,
But getting to do it was the cool part. Getting to meet him and making the movie. If you're not having fun making your movie and the only thrill you're getting out of it is seeing the view count, then you're probably doing the wrong thing. Like if you had a fun time with your friends making a hilarious film that you guys think was great, that's the reward.
That's exactly right.
The motivation isn't the views on that video. I mean, obviously it is a little discouraging, but you really start just getting excited about the next one. That's when I think you found a really dream gig, like where you're like, you know what, let's just keep making what we want, and hopefully it finds, even if it's a really specialized kind of group that really likes those videos, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
Joey, remember when you met Vincent Guastini?
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was pretty cool.
That was sweet.
Well, it's a really difficult time to be in because it's like you have a grade on all of your videos. It's like, oh, nobody saw this compared to Gangnam Style, right? And nobody's seen anything compared to Gangnam Style, right? Actually, I think my joke was, all of our video views combined is equal to 0.7 Gangnam Styles. So like we're not even, so it's one of those
It's a
things.
good percentage.
So it's not bad, but it's one of those things where you can't look at the view count, and you can't base what you think success is on the view count. You should base it on whether or not you got what you set out to do and what you wanted to do when you set out to make this video in the first place with your friends.
If you're making movies, then you're succeeding.
And Jamie came into our film school office the other day and was talking about not all views are created equal. Like a 10-second video of a cat, it might get like 40 million views, but is that the same as like one view for 30 minutes on an episode of Video Game High School? And he's saying no, like
One of them means more.
It's a different investment
Yeah.
of your own time in that.
Yes.
You don't have to commit so much. And
Well,
Right.
views mean even less now, I think, considering how easy it is to make content and how many things are available to watch. So it really is about self-motivation and keeping yourself motivated.
Yeah.
So we're driving a lot of people back to RocketJump Film School to learn some of this stuff, but what can we impart to our audience here on Firetalk right now? Like one easy basic tip is it to put your camera on a tripod and get steady video? Is it even lighting? Is it get a microphone in your, like what's one thing that you would like to impart that just would instantly improve their videos?
Real quick, what kind of videos do you guys make? Just shout it out.
Sketch videos,
Sketch vlogs, gaming stuff.
gaming, comedy.
All right, here's
Gaming.
Sketch all those. You got human faces. All right. In terms of lighting, human faces, try and be even with it. People look better in that way. Nice, easy, fast way of doing it is figure out how to get a nice, soft light source above the camera. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. A lot of tutorials online. The easiest way, Lauren, what would you say the easiest way to get a soft light source up top would be?
Shoot towards a window.
Shoot towards a window.
It's the cheapest way to do it. If you have a desk lamp or something, put something like a sheet in front of it, or
like a T-shirt or something.
A T-shirt or something. If you have harsh light hitting you in the face, it's going to be really unflattering. But if you have some soft light coming in, or cheapest way to do this, get your harsh light and shine it at something else, like a whiteboard or a poster
or your
something.
Ceiling or your
or
wall.
Your ceiling,
Yeah.
and it bounces back, and it's soft and nice, and you don't even have to do anything extra. So instead of pointing the light at yourself, point it at something white and easy and reflective, and it will
Bounce it
reflect.
right back at you.
Bounce
Yeah.
the light.
And get your microphone close. You want to have good sound and keep it close to where you're speaking, because good sound is going to save you no matter what.
All right, how about this one? And this is my biggest pet peeve, vertical video.
Oh.
What's your opinion on vertical video?
Completely legitimate form of video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
I would
I
love
want
to
to
legit.
jump off a cliff right now, Fred.
Yeah, if you're watching it this way, sure, but don't forget, Snapchat, some of the most amazing Snapchat stuff I've seen was shot vertically and viewed vertically, right? And there was a
Yep.
time when everything was square, and the fact that they made movies wider was ridiculous to people, right? And it was like, it was a
Why do you
marketing
need it?
gimmick.
Why do you need it? Yeah.
Right? And they did it to compete with television. So as far as I'm concerned, the aspect ratio, it can be anything. I'll put it this way.
Use
Vertical, I'll put it this way. There's Pulitzer Prize winning photographs that are vertical photographs. Ain't no photographers being like, yo, this sucks. It works well for portrait. It works well for a lot of different types of things. But what's important that you gotta realize is know what it's good for, know what it doesn't work for. If it's a wide action that you're trying to pick, then you're trying to flip back and forth, that doesn't work as well. If it's a photograph, it's a still, if it's a panorama, if it's a nature shot, there's a number of things that vertical actually works really well for. So know your limitations when it comes to your aspect ratios.
I would encourage people to play with the format too. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
portrait
Vertical
gets
can
so
be funny in its
yeah,
own way
portrait
and
gets so much
weird.
flack, but you know, run into it. See if you can do something fun with it. You know, experiment. Go nuts.
Yeah. You can do different things. Yeah. Don't let it stop you. Actually, if you have to shoot an entire film in vertical, you could get kind of creative with how you frame things and like how things surprise people and like how you would.
And that's a process that every cinematographer's gone through. When they switched from square format, you look at old videos of square format 4:3 to 16:9 or wider videos. Every
frame
cinematographer had to relearn how to frame those shots, and a lot of the language that got defined was because there was a new way of shooting it, and they figured out, okay, this is how we shoot an over, this is how we shoot a close-up now, this is how we frame for this kind of action. And some people hated it, and some people resisted it. And even Kubrick would still love square, and he would say like that square format was the right way of doing it. But other people then experimented and pushed it. So don't be afraid to push those boundaries.
Have fun.
What's your favorite bit of emerging tech for film? Is it the small gimbal systems?
My favorite bit of emerging tech is small gimbals for drones, because you can put these gimbals on drones and you can get up in the air and you can get a variety of shots, including helicopter shots, depending on your rotor size. So if you're going to go for a 450 class and you're going to run 6 to 7 inch rotors, you'll be able to lift a payload, probably equivalent to like a GoPro Hero 4 or something, even maybe a little bit heavier.
You have no one to blame, Nick.
I couldn't help it. I'm with you though. I love all the new drone stuff and the gimbals. I love seeing the guys on the I don't even know what you call them, little
What the
mini
heck are
Segway,
those things?
the scooters
Segway
with the
things?
gimbal on the pole. I mean, to
yeah.
get a shot like that years ago, you'd need $10,000 worth of dolly track, and here's a
Yeah.
guy on a
Wow.
skateboard
Three
and a
really
pole.
grizzled grips.
Right.
Yeah. No,
How about you guys? Any fun tech that you like?
Tripod.
classic.
Attaboy, that's my old school. That's exactly right.
It's better than a stack of books, but a stack of books or a chair or a stool works as well. But
Or even if you have to balance it
Yeah.
on your iPhone or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lauren?
LED lighting is doing some really
Yes.
interesting things.
There you go.
It's smaller, it's cheaper, it's cooler. They have this new thing where you can program an LED strip with the RGB spectrum, so you can literally dial in any color you want. And we got to play with that a little bit on the Hulu Show, which I was excited about. My gaffer was like, dude, let's try this. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. So there's a lot of interesting lighting that's coming out, and like projection is starting to come back a little bit too, digital projection and that kind of stuff. So LEDs are doing some interesting things.
I also, seriously, I do like the smart lav that goes right into the
Thanks.
To the phone, your
to the
smartphone.
phone. Yeah. You have no more receivers and a bunch of cables and cords and cummerbund.
We use
Sounderbund.
Yeah,
We use a
Sounderbund.
lot of the Rode Smart Labs.
Yeah, it's
for film
incredibly.
school,
It's a
like,
lavalier
all
mic.
the time.
It just goes right into your phone.
It's a lot less expensive
and
too. So
it's great.
check it out.
And is that Bluetooth or is it hardwired?
So it's
Hardwired.
actually a
Hardwired
lav
through the.
It's a small,
Yeah.
it's a small lab that just goes straight into your like iPhone or something. And a lot of people have these, and we'll run interviews and stuff. We'll just run it into your pocket, and you're done. You don't have to worry about.
You send us the file.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
And it's really nice.
Awesome. Now everybody's here to see you guys, RocketJump. What are you excited to go see? Where is?
Where are all those hot Vine Instagram boys? All those hot Vine
Where are the
celebrities.
cuties at?
Yeah.
Where are the cuties at, guys?
The Brits.
I was promised cuties at VidCon.
I have
and
a
don't
feeling-
see any cuties.
I have a feeling they're over where all that screaming's coming from.
Maybe.
Right. Here we go.
Bam.
I'm
We need to
Cutie
leave.
alert.
Yeah, I love meeting the people who actually watch our videos, and I got to talk with these 3 or 4 guys today just about camera stuff, and I nerded out for a good 15 minutes. It was fun, but just seeing, like, talking to you guys and seeing how you react to the videos and talking with us and suggesting things, and that's just awesome. And we're actually featuring more film school people today at like 4. Is it
4:30.
4.
4.
Yeah.
We're going to be over at the RocketJump booth, and you can talk to us and be like, hey, we want to see tutorials on this, or hey, how did you do that? We're going to be there.
Clint will
4
be
to
there.
5:30.
So handsome. John Salmon, our cinematographer for Video Game High School, is also going to be
He's
there.
not even listening.
He's not. I'm complimenting him. Look at his luxurious hair and his amazing
So
framing.
if you want cute boys,
He's-
He's too handsome to care.
He's too handsome to care. He's going to be there, but you can come meet different professors for film school at 4 p.m. over by our booth and talk to us and let us know what you want to see and
Yes,
what you
come
liked
by.
and what kind of
we'll
what
impart
direction
some
you want the film
advice.
school
We'll
should
impart
go.
some advice to you.
Yeah.
Did
4
we
to 5:30 at our booth.
did we generate any questions out there on the floor, guys, with our discussion, or do we kind of cover all your questions?
Don't
Anybody
be
got any
scared.
questions?
Oh, now
Speak
John
now,
Salmon's paying attention.
Forever hold your peace.
We're just singing you praises.
Got it. All right.
up.
Well, anybody over here? No? Sweet. All right. Well, Phil, in the meantime, I know I have more questions for you guys, and I think it's all right. Here, since I've got the opportunity, I've got this TV show. It's called Right This Minute, and so we kind of created this full circle with what we do. We're still on television. It's broadcast. It's syndicated, but we're sourcing our videos from channels like yours and YouTube and stuff, and it just has now created this big loop. What do you think about how that's working? Can that relationship of television and online continue, or is it eventually going to go all online?
I think it's very easy to look like 5 years from now and be like, hey guys, this is where it's going to be. I think like in 5 years, the fact that like, you ever hear, like, you guys ever see a YouTube video and someone's like, oh, I can't watch it because I'm in Germany, or I can't watch it because I'm in the UK. You guys seen that, right? That's not going to happen. Like, that's stupid. You're on the internet. The internet has no borders, man. You can't put borders on the internet. Everyone's going to be able to watch everything, online everywhere. I think that movies and TV shows are going to come out at the same time on a TV network or in theaters, and it's also going to be available on demand. You can watch something. So a movie comes out summer, you're going to be able to watch it at home at the same time, should you desire to do so. I think that we're getting to a point where in terms of what you watch and how you watch it, you're going to have more control and more ability to access it than you've ever had before. But that's 5 years from now, and I can see where that's going. But the question is, between now and then, from point A to point B, it's not going to be exactly a straight line. It's going to be up and down, and TV is going to be around for a while still. But I think TV and online video is what's going to merge in the next coming years.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, for example, the idea, like, TV has all these ideas still that like don't really make sense anymore, right? They talk about the opening, the ratings. They talk about ratings for the night, and then the weekend, and they've slowly started to add stuff into it. So ratings for downloads. They actually track those to see how people are downloading stuff, and even illegal downloads. They're kind of keeping an eye on that, and they may not necessarily stop it, but they are keeping track of how much people are doing it. So there's this acknowledgement in the television world that TV is changing and that TV's merging with this on-demand, I can just watch what I want when I watch it methodology and mindset. And as that goes on, I think that you're going to see a lot more of that merge happening. And at the end of the day, I think they can coexist, but it won't necessarily make it so that that television gets disappeared by that online video makes TV disappear. I think you can get to a point where everything kind of lives together, but at the very least, people watch things when they want to watch it.
Do you know, I heard recently, I don't know if this is true at all, but is HBO like just going online now?
I don't think it's exclusively to online, but you no longer need a cable subscription to access HBO.
Right.
And a lot of the different platforms are doing that, Showtime and NBC and things like that. So
I think there's going to be a lot more crossover and like TV adopting kind of methods they learn from digital media and vice versa. You're going to explore ways where like some of people who have built their kind of their empires on digital media are going to try stuff out on TV. People who have established themselves in the television industry are trying to cross over and figure out how that works. So there's going to be a really interesting kind of back and forth, and I think it should be positive and very shareable,
Yeah, I mean, we're right next to The Tonight Show. They got a YouTube channel. Like, I don't own cable, but I'm keeping up with Jimmy Fallon through YouTube because they're integrating all their stuff from the night before online, and it's just, it's constantly looping back on itself. And Jimmy Kimmel and all these other, and Conan and all these guys. Like, I'm in the loop without watching TV somehow. It's crazy.
let's go down the line and make sure everybody knows how to stay in touch with you guys. So, Cherish?
Well, I guess I have a Twitter. I'm not very good at Twitter, but it's @CherishChen. But you can find all of us at RJ Film School on everything. Instagram, Vine, Facebook, Twitter. Vine is where you can see the really weird stuff that Joey does. I encourage it.
It's us being completely weird and silly in our office.
It's the 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'll just say RJ, was it? Seuss?
Yeah, check out our RocketJump Film Seuss. It's sort of like a Dr. Seuss film.
It's really weird.
Vine?
Yes.
Yes,
sure.
Vine.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Just check it.
Joey, where can they find you?
Random.
Where can they find you, Joey?
I am at Joey 2 Meals, the number 2. I used to eat 2 meals whenever I went out
At
to
once?
eat, and then I got a
Bang Bang?
nickname. Yeah, Joey 2 Meals. That's my Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much either, but I
You're too
will
busy
see.
eating.
Yeah. Or just Rocket Jump. Like, hey, Instagram,
Our forums, actually.
hashtag, forums. The forums. Please
Yes,
go to
sorry.
the Rocket Jump site. There is a forum there, the community. Build a relationship with us there. We'd love to start a back and forth.
All of
Comment
us are
and
on
chat
there.
with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are not hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm at Lorosaurus Rex, and I'm also on the at RJ Film School on Twitter. And we're always on the forums. So if you go school.rocketjump.com, you can find our tutorials there, but you can also find links to the forums and that kind of stuff where we actually will talk with you and give you feedback.
I'm at F Wong. You can see our videos, youtube.com/RocketJump or rocketjump.com. Check out the film school, youtube.com/RJ Film School, or as Lauren said, school.rocketjump.com. And you can check out us at our booth for the next hour and a half, just around the corner behind
That way.
us.
Yep.
Awesome, and I can't wait to see all of the videos that you guys create using this knowledge. Send it over to me at writethisminute.com. You can find me at NS Calderone as well. So I can't wait to see your videos. I'd love to put them on our show. So thank you, everybody. Thanks to you guys.
Thank you, guys.
everybody.
Thank you.